Merry meet and welcome. Welcome to the realms of mysticism, the occult, and magic, where your possibilities are only limited by your imagination. Welcome to the Witch's Cauldron and discover the knowledge you seek. Gather round the cauldron and even stay for a spell. Brightest blessings to you. Welcome back to the Witch's Cauldron. I didn't do my normal intro because this isn't my typical kind of video. But I had a lot of folks reach out to me. And you guys have been wondering where I've been. You deserve an explanation, especially those of you who are or were my members. I had, a couple of months ago, I had issued kind of like a tweet saying that I was taking a break from social media. I had not been feeling well since the end of last year. And by the fact that I'm saying I'm not feeling well, in other words, I felt like death warmed over. Because I tend to downplay things like that. I try not to give kind of a negative perspective that much power over me and over my life. I always try to power through and keep going. And, you know, I've always been like that. My mother was the same way. You know, to get her to go to the doctor, she literally had to be like half dead. That's kind of ironic considering I was really close to doing myself in by ignoring what was going on. I had gotten to where I was so tired all the time. I was taking 2, sometimes 3 naps a day. I had no energy to do anything. And, you know, it was like an effort to get up and get dressed. And when I would do simple things around the house, like get the vacuum cleaner out or anything like that, and just run the vacuum for 10 or 15 minutes, was completely shot for the rest of the day. And a lot of the symptoms that I was having were the same symptoms that I typically experience with hypothyroidism. I have suffered from hypothyroidism for many, many years and have, you know, been on medication for that to replace the lack of function in my thyroid. And the chronic fatigue, the dry skin, the hair falling out, the splitting nails, chronic nausea, la. Those were all symptoms that are typically what I experience when my thyroid counts are out of whack, when I need a medication adjustment. And I was scheduled to go to the doctor in mid-January, and I had to reschedule because I was exposed to COVID. So I self-quarantined for 2 weeks, and I rescheduled for a time for that. Then we got a snowstorm and ice, and the doctor's office closed that morning, and so I had to reschedule again. So I didn't schedule until like the almost mid part of February. And my doctor had gone ahead and put in lab work prior to the appointment. So when I first got there, after they did the intake and all that happy stuff, went over to the lab, got my blood drawn, did my urinalysis, came back to the room, and by the time, I sat there for a few minutes, the doctor was in, and then my phone dings, and the results from the urinalysis are already back from the lab. And I opened it up, and I went, holy. And I was like, did you just see those lab results that just got posted? And she looked, and I showed them to her, and her eyeballs got real big. I had glucose and protein and ketones spilling into my urine. A little bit later into the appointment, my blood work came back, and my blood sugar was well over 400 and was pushing 500. And in the span of, let me see, the very end of October, I think I went in on like Samhain on the 31st for my last set of blood work. From then until the middle of February, my A1C had gone from just under 7, I think it was like 6.8 or 6.9, to 11.2. I was full-fledged diabetic. My pancreas went on winter vacation and decided not to come back. So I had, had issues with like insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome most of my adult life, and actually had gone on medication for it about a year ago. But because of change in insurance and this and that and the other, I had actually ran out of one of my medications because the doctor didn't get it authorized through proper channels. So when it came refill time, they said, nope, we're not covering it. And there was that whole kerfuffle. So my caution to everyone is don't ignore what your body is telling you. Often, if you are a parent or a caretaker, you tend to put your needs last. And I will tell you right now, anybody who has a medical background is whether it's a doctor, a nurse, a medic, whatever, and you guys know that I spent 31 years working for the fire service and was in that profession, and I am one of the world's worst patients. I will poo-poo my own self, where if I were evaluating someone or evaluating what's going on with a loved one, I'd be saying, we're going to the doctor. But did I do that with myself? No. Don't ignore what's going on. I almost let myself get to a state where permanent damage could have been done, and my counts were high enough. I was very close to a diabetic emergency. When your counts get up above 500 and close to 6, that's usually when diabetic coma kicks in. Listen to your body, listen to your intuition, and pay attention, because at the end of the day, we can't take care of anyone else if we do not take care of ourselves. Your health is the same as that safety explanation when you get on the airplane and you're taxiing down the runway and they say, parents, if you're with a child, put your mask on first. If the cabin depressurizes, then put your child's mask on, blah, blah, blah. Because you can't help the child if there's a need to evacuate and you have no air because you put a mask on them first, you need to put the mask on yourself first, and then take care of who's with you, or take care of the person next to you who can't take care of themselves. Because you're no good taking yourself out of the equation. And that's basically what I had done. I had like poo-pooed everything and was worried about everybody else and was not paying attention to what was going on with my own body. So, with that, I owe an apology to my members. I know a lot of folks left the channel, and I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that, and I understand. And I don't blame you, because I wasn't at the point where I wanted to talk about this then. And when I had posted stuff about having, some health issues going on in the past, everybody was very understanding. And this time I couldn't talk about it. And because I had almost let myself get to the point where I could have died. And it gave me a real kick in the back of the head. So to my members, I apologize. I failed you. And I hope that I can, keep you as subscribers. If not, I understand, and I'm okay with it. But I do owe you an apology for not doing better. But like I said, it's taken me a while, like a month, to process and to get all these feelings and adjust my lifestyle, adjust my mental health, and adjust everything around me so that I put me first again. I do not depend on YouTube for my income. I usually end up at the end of the year, from what I buy for the channel and what I make from the channel, I usually end up like a wash, or, earning literally like dollars, very few dollars at the end of the year, at the end of the tax year, by the time everything's said and done. So, be good to yourselves. Put yourself first. Don't poo-poo what your body is telling you. It's telling you that for a reason. And there is no shame to go into the doctor and say, I don't feel good, and something's wrong. And be sure to not let them make you feel like there's nothing wrong with you. If your body is telling you that something's wrong, something's wrong. I had to fight to get put on insulin, and had to fight with insurance to get it approved, and had to fight with the pharmacy. And it took me over a week just to get insulin, to take care of diabetes. And I know that there are a lot of people out there that aren't as hard-headed as I am, and they would give up and not fight. You are worth the fight. You are the most important thing there is. Because without you, you can't take care of anyone else that you love. For you to be around for them, you have to put yourself first. And we tend to not do that. Okay? So with that, my friends, there's where the hell I've been, my cautionary tale, and my apology to my subscribers, and especially to my members. If any of you, lost your trust or faith in me, I apologize. I just was not ready to talk about it until now. I had to do what was right for me, and you had to do what was right for you. And there is no harm, no foul on either side. So, with that, stay tuned. I've got some good video ideas, hopefully, things. I'm on the mend. My counts are doing much better. My sugar levels are way down from where they were. I'm starting to get, my mojo back. Yeah, so I will sign off with Merry We Did Meet. Merry we will part until we merry meet again. Be well, please, and walk in love and light, everybody. Bye.